Does your website need to sell is what we're talking about today on the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Nayler, joined by JD from the Institute of Wow. Once again, thank you very much for continuing this conversation.
My pleasure, John. Thank you for having me.
No, we're going to enjoy this one, I can tell.
I hope so, because the other ones haven't really been that enjoyable. I'm only joking.
No, well, the fact is that website trade is what I've been in for 20 years, and you've obviously got some fairly directed stuff around that subject. Let's start with yours. Why is it important for a website to sell?
Yeah, look, mate, part of the mantra that I have with this Institute of Wow thing is your website should be a 24/7 salesperson. It shouldn't be just an information portal. And I'd say probably 80, maybe 90% of all the businesses that come involved with my world have got an information-based website. And, you know, the irony is that I would say to anyone who owns a business, if you want to create a good website, don't go to a website designer. Go to someone who understands marketing, because a website designer, God bless them, they're wearing black T-shirts, Doc Martens, and, you know, now they're cool groovy, but they were perhaps an artist yesterday before the online world came along, so therefore what makes them a marketing expert? Well, they're not. And so therefore I always say to people, you must make sure that your website, particularly your homepage, has certain ingredients to make it a sales machine, not an information portal. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, well, see, I go one step further. My old mate Ken Brown there, Brownie, he wrote a testimonial, said that, you know, the average web designer is living in a darkened room surrounded by empty pizza boxes, you know. Yep. But, you know, talk to me, because I've done sales for a long time. Yep. But so, enormous advocate for around that. And the case in point I've seen since the early days, and, you know, early industry, when I transitioned to web, the original company I worked for were doing great work, and really significant companies across Queensland, but the websites are just brochureware. They were just showcasing. Now, that was 2001, and you could get away with it then because it was the first website. You know, you could afford to get it wrong back then, sort of. But obviously, 2018, you've got to be on message, and you've got to be on, got a call to action. You've got to be right in there.
It's tragic when you see the real estate agent's website with he being the CEO and all of his staff in beautiful uniforms outside the real estate agency. No problem solution or no you know, sort of offer. It's just them outside the real estate agency, and you're supposed to get onto that website. Oh, wow, look at those uniforms. Don't they take a lovely photo? I've got to get them to sell my house. I say to real estate agencies, why wouldn't you have in the headline of your web page, your home page, do you want your home sold in 21 days? Because we've done that. And you can ask any real estate agent anywhere in Australia, have they ever once or twice or three times sold a house within 2 or 3 weeks? And they go, yeah, we just snagged it, but we put it on the realestate.com and someone walked in and bought it. What does everyone want when they're actually selling their home? They want the good price and they want it sold quick. So if you actually got rid of the photo of your staff, because God love them, but we're not really interested, and put up there, do you want your home sold in 21 days? Well, guess what? We've just done that. You haven't said you can guarantee it for everyone. But I can't get Jerry Seinfeld for every client. But if I milk that, you better believe it.
Yeah, we've heard about it a couple of times as we've done this recording session. But yeah, so around websites, and as I said from the outset, there were some of the projects that I'm involved in, and sort of as an IT guy and a programmer, like in my original outlet through that business where I learnt the first, you know, things about web design, just about 20 years ago. When I started my business, it was about websites being functional, websites doing things, websites educating people, informing people, but also leading them across to a decision. So in fact, you know, my Opus project for a charter company, the Whitsundays, as people navigated the website, we learned things about them. As they selected and viewed different boats, and as they put in a date that they potentially want to come, as they talked about who would be their crew. So by the time they if they went through the process of booking and actually pre-filled all those things to the point, they're going, how did they know that?
You got it. And you could,
so that was cookies from the, you know, and we think about cookies in a negative way, but here's cookies actually working in a very positive way to help guide people towards a decision.
Absolutely.
And you know what? We even went one step forward where people made an inquiry and said, oh, look, we looked at XYZ boat, but it's booked for those dates. But we'd actually had a little audit trail of the pages they looked at, and we saw the alternate vessels they'd looked at, the alternate boats. So we'd go, and so the staff were very, very good, and they'd go back and say, oh, we saw that you looked at that one, well, and that vessel's not available, but how about this other boat? Already knowing that they've informed themselves about that boat.
So they were qualified.
Qualified themselves. So that's it. So websites need to have that level of smarts, and we see this world we live in now where Facebook knows so much about us, Google knows so much about us, the leading online retailers, and we're only just seeing Amazon enter the country here. they are so well reputed for knowing so much about us.
Yep.
We really need to, within our own websites,
Yep.
is to be in that level of data collection, or at least aspire to that, yeah?
Spot on. And you know, when you think about today's website design, John, it's pretty simple, isn't it? They're just, you know, because it's, you know, responsive designs, it's just panel after panel after panel after panel. There's no split, you know, well, there shouldn't be any starbursts and all this sort of stuff. And, you know, number one, your website certainly has to, you know, support your brand demeanour. So if you're David Jones, then yes, it needs to be lots of browns and tans. And so therefore, you know, if I'm going to boast about it, when I'm charging a few dollars to people to you know, to get my marketing advice, I'm going to make sure that it looks like I know what I'm doing. So browns and tans is going to be more upmarket, it's going to be more Palazzo. My brief to the art studio when I put this book together was Walt Disney meets Harry Potter at the Palazzo Versace. So that's why it looks like that.
Okay,
Whereas
I can see that.
Yeah, if I'm writing a little book like that, I'll say that this, you know, boy goes to Big W or Kmart. So therefore, it's message to market match in terms of your brand demeanour on your website. But the big components I believe that should be there. Number one, the first panel should be a problem solution headline. And if you're a kitchen renovator, it might be, have you got a 30-year-old kitchen and you'd like it to be completely refurbished for less than $5,000 or $10,000, whatever it might be, well, you've come to the right place. You need to think about having an explainer video because they're 10 times more powerful than just written text. Another panel you need is a data capture facility, which is normally a free report. And so if I happen to be a, you know, Italian kitchen renovator, I'd probably have a free report which would say, download this free report now, the 3 biggest lies that most kitchen renovators tell you when you're thinking about getting a kitchen refurbished. Hint, hint, that's not really an Italian granite benchtop, it comes from China. Now, if you've just come to my website and you're interested in a kitchen renovate, you're going to download that free report. Guess what I've got? Yeah. I've got your contact details and I'm on the phone to you within an hour and you're blown away. And not only that, because I give a free report like that, it positions me as the trusted advisor because I'm willing to tell you the industry secrets where no one else will.
Yeah, sure.
And the other things, John, that I'm sure we spoke off camera that you'd agree with, and that is 2 or 3 of your best video testimonials put on your homepage, because the fact is that if you put them on your testimonial page, good luck, but no one's ever going to look at them. We've done the heat mapping, all the stuff that John does, and so therefore your testimonial page will be the least visited page of your website. Bring the best ones up and put 2 or 3 of these video testimonials on there.
Oh, yeah, make them unescapable. Yeah.
And the last but not least is, you know, highlight the 3 or 5 biggest benefits, not 2 or 4, don't ask me why, but we've split tested 3 and 5 works. So the top 3 or the top 5 biggest benefits of using your product or services. If you do that on your homepage, then you've got a sticky homepage which will arrest your high bounce rate. And in our environment, when people come into our thing, we find that around about 3/4 of the people who need a website, you know, rejuvenation, have got a bounce rate over 60%. Now that means 6 out of 10 people who come to your homepage bounce before they go to any other pages. That means you spend all that money on SEO, pay-per-click, all the other things to get people to your website, but it's as boring as crap, and you're frightening them away before they go to another page.
Yeah, there we go. And there's a bunch of other things on top of that. We're out of time, but a bunch of other things that we do on top of that. Even using this sort of content, video interview type content, FAQs in video, really valuable. And we've seen some stuff we've done with, say, the Conquer Termites client, where we're seeing the inquiries come through. They've actually watched videos.
They've watched the video.
Watched that, and so so our client there is already an expert because they've watched.
And that means that prospect is qualified because they've watched you or him for 10 minutes. And, you know, seriously, and I'm not being silly here, I mean, both John and I are a little bit cheeky, I guess, with our personality, but if this was as boring as batshit, you know what, you wouldn't still be watching. And it's not just a matter of entertaining, it should be, and I've seen lots of yours, John, so I take my hat off to you. Yours are entertaining. And that sounds cute, I know, but the fact is you train people, but you make it a bit of fun at the same time, and that's the world I come from. And I think that if you're in the service industry, particularly the likes of what you and I do, that's what you've got to do. Videos are massively powerful, and in fact, depending upon who you listen to, they are 10 times more persuasive than the written word.
Oh, there you go. I think I'm going to clip that out for a testimonial. But anyway, now, how do people get hold of you, JD?
Pretty easy, mate. Just go to theinstituteofwow.com and you'll see all my stuff there. You don't even have to talk to me. You can swipe a whole bunch of ideas. We have case studies and all that sort of stuff on. But I will throw this offer in again if you want that book for free, which is pretty much all of the direct response tactics that I display at my events and my webinars and so forth. I'll send that to you for free. Just simply send an email to me at info@theinstituteofwow.com and we'll put this in the mail for you. It's a $30 book. You can get it for free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay anything. No postage, handing, nothing. Just send a note and say I've listened to John Nayler's or watched John Nayler's video, and we'd like that free book. info@theinstituteofwow.com.
Okay, fantastic. Completely out of time. I'm John Nayler from eCentral.